certificate.
So this is my last question. Reading from a letter that Representative Barbara Lee posted today, I write regarding the future of the Oakland Athletics Baseball Club in the East Bay. Many of my constituents in the East Bay and I are increasingly frustrated with the coming apparent failure of the team and Major League Baseball to deal in good faith. Let me jump down to the third paragraph because I think someone asked this. I believe strongly that our community also provides value to the A's. Oakland has been the site for this franchise for a great deal of time. And then she goes on to say about some things that they had already started doing in preparation, some things that the Oakland A's asked for, and they were in the process of doing that. But now the frustration is coming because they're seeking a new location. So that's part one. But the other one would be, we've heard from someone about the community benefit, but as I look at this, I think the players are very close to the bottom of the pay scale. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I looked at it wrong, but that would be it. And when we talked about, and I can't remember who it was, asked, what is the investment? And right now, if you're asking us to give this much money, there has to be some awareness on the part of the owner and any other interested financial partners who have that fiduciary responsibility. There has to be some awareness of what the commitment, the dollar amount commitment is. Because absent that, the only thing we continue to talk about are just hyperboles. And so, as my colleague to my right said, we hope not to go to another pandemic, but the what ifs. And if we can't, if those payments can't be met and they fall back on the county, if that happens, then we're left, with the shrugging of the shoulders. Well, I don't know what happened. And so my questions, and I believe that the questions of my colleagues are really designed to say, we have to do our due diligence because this is a lot of money. And the community benefits really don't make up for the lack of money for youth mental health. Now, we passed a lottery that's going to come back again next year, but it's going to be like 6 years before that actually takes place. The here and the now. We don't have the money to increase access, not just access, affordable access, but quality access in our healthcare delivery system. We don't have the money right now to put towards eliminating or at least mitigating homelessness. I have a bill that was about women veterans being housed and women who are coming out of domestic violence situations, formerly incarcerated women, and women who are 50 plus, housing insecure. We don't have money for any of that. And we just closed out the session, so it's going to be another 18 months unless we get called back for a third session, special session. So it's going to be that long. And so my concern, and I will tell you with all honesty, my concern and my hesitation is based upon the lack of certainty, because those things that we could not do because we don't have the money, but we come 2 days after special session ends, the session ends with a special session, but now we have the money, but we didn't have the money for mental health. We didn't have the money for hospitals. We didn't have the money for homeless, to really address homelessness. And $5 million to me is a lot of money, but that's just because I've never had $5 million. But when in the grand scheme of things, and you look at how homelessness has become more and more pervasive, and part of that is because affordable housing does not exist. $5 million towards that problem, towards that challenge, is probably like saying, can you buy me a Coke? And so we would really have to look at it through the lens of how pervasive is the problem, and if we're going to be a good community partner, how do we come up from 5 million so that it really, really, really addresses the problem? Because if we don't do these tax credits, that means that there's going to be money that we can do some other things with. And as far as the transferable tax credits, that for me, if we give that to you, but then you can transfer, you can sell it to someone else. Here we go again, because now you're talking about tax dollars that are here and now, but they're not going to be, and in the future sometime, maybe they will be again. Does that make sense to you? I'm just trying to. These are questions from people who text me, but they're also questions that I've been trying to figure out in my head. And so I will tell you that transferable tax credits are a problem for me.
Senator Spearman, Steve Hill. Just to be clear, the process of redeeming those tax credits does not ever create any additional cost to state or local government. It's the original amount. That's all the cost that there will be, regardless of how they are then ultimately redeemed in the future. I will say there's certain, the uncertainty is real, but has also been taken into consideration in a number of ways. So as we look at the bonds, the 2 times coverage, as we look at the return on investment at 3 times what the entire amount, including what is just being lent and will be repaid, there's going to be a positive benefit here. The state and local governments and the A's interests are aligned. They want to be successful too. It is why they are looking to move. It is the situation in Oakland is also a part of the issue that has to be overcome. When they have been good very recently. And when they were good, attendance was not great. The experience that we will provide in Las Vegas, both at the ballpark and around the ballpark, will be a draw that will help the team have the opportunity to be more successful in the future.
Senator Pazina.